Husbands of bridezillas, how did you handle your wife's attitude on your wedding day, and did it change your image of her? Also, how bad was she? My wife was extremely cranky and yelling at everyone all day because things weren't perfect. The funny thing is, her behavior was causing a lot of stuff not to be perfect. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she threw a beer bottle at the DJ's head when he turned on a song she didn't like. Our marriage only lasted a year. At least in your wedding day, all assault charges are forgiven. I wish I could ask my sister's soon-to-be fiancé this question. She's planning the wedding and he hasn't proposed yet. She's already yelling at our parents over the guest list, so it's gonna be a fun time. It was supposed to be an open wedding, and in the morning it was pouring outside like Noah was in town. My wife was on the verge of cutting her own dress into pieces. The bridesmaid was no help at all. The hairdresser was late, so the official ceremony started an hour late, and as a consequence of all that, the bride said no when the minister asked for an answer. We still got married, got a few glasses of wine into her, and the party later was the most fun I have ever had in my life, for the bride as well. Happily married a year later, and I'm never letting this girl out of my life. Advice for future grooms. Bring an over-the-counter anxiolytic, valerian valiodol, something like that. If things get heated, it cures a lot of problems. Alcohol does a good job to relax as well. The wedding day is really stressful for all involved, so something like that really helps. Happy wife, happy life. Gave her everything she wanted and still reaping the benefits. I wouldn't have married a bridezilla. It's a trap. This Reddit thread or marriage? My wife and I almost never fight, but we fought weekly from the day we got engaged to the day we got married over wedding stuff. My ideas were stupid. If I left all decisions to her, I wasn't involved enough. I couldn't win. Once it was over, we stopped fighting. Then we had kids. So we're back to fighting. Lol. Great. So 18 more years to go, I guess. Top tip. If your girlfriend goes for a theme, expect to have a house filled with that stuff. Our theme was antique, so I guess that means chandeliers. She was okay on the day, but I've never had to deal with someone crying because the lace that arrived was too cream or white and not ivory enough. I kind of feel like if I planned a wedding, it would be far better than what we had. Maybe you should tell her that. I've heard communication is key. Yes, she'd like that. She ordered 2 types of food for the wedding I was allergic to. Did you help plan? No, of course not. That explains a lot. What? I was called a bridezilla by a few relatives because I was 1, angry the cake I paid $200 for was bland and the wrong color when I could have got exactly what I wanted at Publix for half that. I was guilted into letting a friend of my grandma make the cake. 2. Did not want my stupid father's side of the family there because my aunt is a narcissistic attention-seeking person who tried to make my baby cousin steal my bouquet and told her other granddaughter to throw ink on my dress, which she did. So there's now a permanent purple stain the size of a cantaloupe on my dress. She threw ink on your dress. I'm not a violent person, but she would have been ended. No, she made a little kid do it, so the bride couldn't get mad at the kid and aunt would have deniability. This is horrible, but don't get me wrong. But I feel like maybe this is only half the story because you don't throw ink on a wedding dress if the bride is perfectly nice. My ex-wife was a bridezilla and her mother the definition of a monster-in-law. I just handed over reins in defeat and got drunk through the whole planning process. Ended up being the complete opposite of anything that I wanted. The marriage lasted 2 years, 7 months and 3 days. My group of friends, including my best man, his now wife, a few colleagues, my sister and her husband, had a betting pool on how long the marriage will last. I found this out on the day I told my father, who was in on it, that we had separated. At the time I put it down to the stress of wedding planning and thought, no, she's not really like this. Nope, turns out she's a spoiled person and wanted me to take over from her father, just pampering her and never saying no, because he stated that now she was married, it was my responsibility to keep her in the life she's used to. She ended up leaving me while I was deployed and moving interstate, taking my son. That was a shock to come home to an empty house. Her reasoning, I said no to her buying a new vacuum, and that I didn't love my family enough because I put my work first. After she left, I said screw it and became a playboy, as that relationship was over to me. 4 years later, after a long and messy divorce, I am about to elope to Vegas with my new partner, as we are happier than ever together. And neither of us wanted to deal with the BS associated with a traditional wedding. Who won? Well, clearly the groom with his new wife. So one thing I've noticed, it's not the fiancé that usually notices it. They just see it as stress from the planning. They usually think, she just wants her perfect day. Why is everyone else being an a-hole about it? The people that will see the person as the bridezilla is usually her bridesmaids first. This will be followed by the wedding vendors. If it is bad, the family will see it along with the rest of the wedding party. The soon-to-be husband is the last to see this, as he is usually shielded from it by friends and family, unless it gets totally out of control. My husband was somewhat of a husbandzilla. I felt like our wedding was just a big competition to him, to outdo his 3 older brothers' weddings. I wanted to just get married at the courthouse, and he was aware of that. Yet every time I expressed that I didn't have an opinion on what kind of silverware I wanted, or what I wanted the invitation to look like, I got a long speech about how I didn't care about our wedding and blah blah blah. Then I was dumb and told him that I literally couldn't care less about this wedding because it was a waste of money and time, and we already could be married if we just went to the courthouse. Anyway, we talked about it in counseling, so he chilled out after that. My wife was getting stressed and started to zilla out, so I took it away from her. We sat down over dinner one night and discussed what her most important moments or ideas were. And she agreed as long as those 3 to 4 items were covered. She would relax and let me fill in the blanks. You want a venue that will let you make a runner out of silk scarves and do a Sunday afternoon ceremony? Great, here are the 2 in our area that will do that. Chicken, fish or beef? Okay, here are the 2 chicken entries they serve that you would like. No, you can't see the price. I will take care of that. Here are the 3 photography studios that work with our DJ for the video sound and the venue. No, that other guy you saw on Facebook is not as good. Please review these 3 and choose your photographer. Here is station identification, the one DJ you can choose from. Seriously, I didn't even give her an option on this one. If you are getting married in Southern California, this is the only one to use. They do way more than just play music, and having a professional to direct your guests' attention makes the entire event so much better. Over 2 years later, and we still have people telling us how well everything went at our wedding. That's amazing! That groom stepped up and became a wedding planner himself. That's great. I'm impressed, really. And so is Reddit. Let's see some comments. Marry me? Seriously though, 10 out of 10 jobs supporting your partner. You saw a problem and helped the pair of you fix it. This did the same thing with my wife when she was feeling overwhelmed. For example, found out the week before our wedding that her previous chosen dress would not fit as she has lost a lot of weight. So, used my experience as a contractor, told her to choose from 3 available rental places plus professional done makeup and hair with certification, not some random Facebook like my sister-in-law suggested. Alright you guys, that's it for today. Have a lovely, lovely day and see you in my next video.